The Jags, they have signed Trevor Lawrence to really a record-breaking contract extension here. The numbers are 5 years, $275 million, includes $200 million in guarantees, and I think that moves Trevor Lawrence's annual salary up to $55 million, which ties him for the highest. Look, it's time to ball now.
Look, I'm happy for Trevor. I think this is what happens when you see the market the way it is. I mean, it seems like every time a quarterback gets a contract, it's record-breaking. Y'all just better hope you're right. Oh boy, better start playing better soon. I don't think he's worth this, in my opinion. Blaming.
Well, what would he need to do to play better? I'd say turnovers.
Okay.
What else?
It's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, be more consistent. I mean, when you look at it, not that I would say he's a top 7, top 8 quarterback in the league. I just don't think he's worth $200 million guaranteed.
You think he's top 7?
I think he could be top 7.
Then this has to be worth it.
But I don't think he's worth the $200 million guaranteed. I understand the end of it, but the guaranteed part of it to me is the one that's kind of surprising. It's just where I know there's other teams that would have picked him up eventually, and I like Trevor. I hope it works out for him. You know, I know he does it the right way, and I mean, you just got Mac Jones sitting there, who I don't think is going to set the world on fire as a backup. That's a lot guaranteed, man. And there's nothing guaranteed in this league for anybody, but $200 million, woo!
First year with Urban Meyer, you know, he still threw for 3,600 yards, 12 touchdowns. He did have 17 picks, but let's just take that year off of it. That's your rookie year. Urban Meyer clearly wasn't working out in Jacksonville. You do get Doug Peterson in, an offensive-minded guy, your next 2 years. He threw for 4,100 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and then this past year, 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 14 picks. There were some injuries in there as well. You know, I think when you talk about the turnovers, there were 3 guys who've turned the football over more, or maybe 4 guys who've turned the football over more in their first 3 years, and 3 of them are Hall of Famers. When you talk about Peyton Manning and Warren Moon. So the turnovers, I think, can come down, but that's a lot of money.
So I mean, you got to think there's been 4 guys the last 2 seasons that's done for 8,000 passing yards and combined a 55 passing and rushing touchdowns. That's Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes.
And those guys are getting that.
They're pretty good. So I think you got a guy at the draft that you saw as your franchise guy. I think he's proved it, maybe not to this dollar extent, but I think you are paying him for what he's going to become. I think Trevor Lawrence will win a Super Bowl one time in his career, but I do think this is worth the money.
So is this a bet here where you're like, okay, we took him number 1 overall, right? And you already said you think he's top 10, right? Is this a thing where it's like, hey, we do think he's about to break out. Let's get that contract extension now before we have to break the record at $60 million a year with him.
No, for sure. It's a gamble. There's stuff on both ends of it. Whenever you look at the positive part of what he's done, he has put up some good numbers. But, I mean, he's been in the league for a little bit now. The turnovers are a real thing. The clutch plays are a real thing. I mean, how many fourth quarter, outside of the Chargers playoff game where Jacksonville came all the way back, how many guys would you put ahead of Trevor Lawrence to have a game-winning fourth quarter drive? How many quarterbacks? I'd put a lot.
A good bit.
A lot. And a lot that don't make $200 million guaranteed a year. So again, every contract is a gamble, right? It is a gamble somewhat. I just feel like you went all in when you didn't have to go all in with the $200 million guaranteed. And it's not like the Jags are souped up around him. I'm not saying you shouldn't have re-signed him or done a new contract. I just think you overpaid and overplayed your hand a little bit. But that's just my opinion. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Do us a favor. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, trying to keep getting those sub numbers up, y'all know how it works. Hit the like button on those videos and please keep sharing the show. Thank you.